Welcome to the Melissa Banks Show. I'm your host, Melissa Banks. Today's conversation is one that is powerful, necessary, and rooted in transformation. We're talking about redemption. We're talking about accountability. We're talking about what it truly means to rise beyond your environment and choose a different path, even when the odds are stacked against you. My guest today is Harold Noonie G. Ward. He carries a story that is layered, and real, and unfiltered. From his beginnings at Algill Gardens on the south side of Chicago to becoming a reformed leader, author, entrepreneur, and community advocate. His journey is one that is profound and intentional impact. This is more than a book conversation. This is about legacy. This is about confronting the past without being defined by it. This is about using your story as a bridge, not a barrier. So I invite you to lean in, listen with an open heart, because transformation is possible,
Yes.
growth is possible, and purpose can be born from the most unexpected places. So let's get started with today's show. Welcome to the show, Harold. So
Thank you
excited
for
about
having me, Miss Banks. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Harold, I was so impacted about your story. So I'm excited to talk to you and for my listeners to hear so much more about your story. So, from growing up in Elgill Gardens to becoming a reformed gangster disciple leader and community activist is a powerful transformation. So, what
Yes.
inspired you to share your journey in Elgill, and how did it feel to revisit those intense chapters of your life?
Well, what inspired me was it's a lot of stuff going on. Like basically, it's wild and they doing all kind of foolishness, and I was part of that problem, and I wanted to be part of the solution. And so that's what made me start. So I got to do something. So I wrote this book right here about the gardens where I grew up at, where I started my what you want to say me being a gang chief and all that. How I recommend the gangster disciples and all that. So I just started that. So I said, well, let me get this book. Oh, so I did the book. I got 4 books out right. But this book is like almost 400 some pages, but it's about where I grew up at in the gardens. And what I wanted to do was help anybody I can help to redeem themselves, like Lord redeem me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I did the book.
It absolutely will. But why now? What made you decide that this was the time? Like you said, you had other books already out. This was the time to release El Guild and tell your story. Why now?
Because I'm doing a with the book. It's also a TV series. So what it is I basically when I went out there and I started seeing different things where I used to be, and it's worse than the way it was. I had to do this where I can get everybody attention. This way I know you get people teach about reading or a TV series, power, you know what I mean, all shy and all that. So with this here together, I can get this, I can tell the story of what's going on and also help people at the same time get their life in order or get their life right with God.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So it's not just a story that you wrote, though. This is rooted in your lived experiences. So how did writing it and sharing it in the book, how did you own your own past things of accountability and redemption in this book? How did that relate?
Well, when I was reliving it, I remember a lot of stuff I did, and I forgot that I did that, and I was like, "Oh, wow," you know what I mean? So when I was doing it, I was like, start having, the thoughts that I was going on, like this ain't right, this ain't right, this ain't right. I did this, I did that. As I said, oh man, wow, I'm out there. So, and a couple of things I was doing, then and she ain't with us now. Tamara Johnson ain't with us now, but she basically was helping me, telling me, I mean, different things. She did the foreword. So as I started wondering, what can I do different to help these people? Okay, they're out there now. So what I did was I was reminiscing. Sometimes I reminisce. I had tears in my eyes because I forgot I did all that, but it
Mm.
actually happened. The new Chicago Tribune. I mean, sometimes got it notated everything. You know, it was just shocking to me that I was doing all this and where I am now because I got redemption. How God had blessed me. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
I absolutely love that because I can imagine that as you was writing the book, you were reliving those times in your life, and sometimes you don't even you go on with your life and don't really think about those
Exactly.
moments. So I really
Exactly.
appreciate that.
And you know what? When I was just thinking about, because I grew up out there, and the gardens was like, let me see, how would you say this? The gardens is just like Mayberry, but on the hood side. We got everything out there.
Mhm.
Everything. We had to go nowhere. Grocery store. Um, let me think. Grocery stores, restaurants, laundromats, barbershops, everything. So it was just like, and then like, if you did wrong, now back in the day, take a visit, raise, you know what I mean, raise the kid.
Mhm.
Like, say if you was out there, Miss Banks, and you saw me do something, you were with me, and I go and tell my mama, Miss Banks with me. She'll with me. You know what I'm saying? So it was a blessing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you for that. So
Yes,
you've
yes.
dedicated your so much of your life to uplifting youth and steering them away from violence. How does the book reflect the lessons you've learned on your own path in there?
Because when I was, I slammed dope out there. I got girls pregnant out there. I shot people out there. I got stabbed, all type of stuff. I did all. So by me seeing what they was doing right, I could say, hey, this ain't it, bro. You know what I mean? And then they look at me like, because they see me on TV sometimes. They see me in the news. They see me with this new TV series, right? Everybody is coming out back and forth, and I'm telling them, hey, man. And I'm always putting up God, to God be the glory, and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, if God bless me, he ain't start redemption at me. So I'm telling them, you got to give them the right path. This is the right path. Because every decision that you make, it might be your last decision. And then when you make these decisions, you got to remember one thing when you make these decisions. You're gonna have to live with them. That for the rest of your life. And if you kill somebody, that's the rest of your life. You shoot somebody, the rest of your life. All type of different things going on. So you got to, I was telling, look, before you do anything, it's a thought before it's anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
That's
thought. So you can't say, oh man, no, it's a thought, bro. And Holy Spirit put it in you. It's a thought. It's definitely a thought. It's a thought. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
that's a blessing there. Yeah.
So, Harold, let me ask you: was there a moment that stand out to you that caused you to make a transformation? Was there a particular moment, or was it just a string of things that brought you to where you are?
For right now, when I made my change, for which one? Because when
When
I
you made
made
your
my change,
change, when you
when I
made
made
your
the change, going to jail, and I was a game chief. When I went through the what you call they take you through, check you out, do
mm-hmm,
all this stuff, make sure you
mm-hmm,
all that. That was a blessing because I had a picture of my daughter and her best friend on my chest, right? And the lady told me at the thing when she was taking my blood and everything, she said, "You got to be kidding." She said, "Negro, you should be home with these two kids. What is that you doing?" You know what I mean? And I'm thinking my thoughts, well, because I'm going to jail, but by me being have so much juice in jail, I'm good. I'm good. I got people around me back and forth. And she kept saying, "You leave them kids there. You leave them people there. They depend on you." And it hurt me so bad. I was like, "Oh, I'm done. I'm done doing this. I'm done doing that." And that was my chance. And the judge said, he said, had I could give you, I would give you a little more less time because you have been here. My case lasted about 5 years going. That's unheard of. Going back and forth to court. Nobody was there. I was there. Judge wasn't even there. So that's why when I asked him for, when he took me in, I asked him for like a extended stay. The prosecutor, like, he gonna run. He gonna run. The prosecutor said, 5 years, he gonna run. He could have been ran. I would have ran. That's what the judge said.
yeah.
So that part right there, when I started seeing I'm going through this, I'm to leave my family back and forth. I'm like, I had to make a change. I had to make a change. And it was in me to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
God had his hand on me since I was eighth grade, saved, sanctified, filled the Holy Ghost. I just got off the wrong path. I had two families. I mean, my father, my mother, two home, my parents. Father he ran the guards. He was a head janitor. My mother was a school teacher. With no reason for me to do that.
Wow, I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Harold. Let me just reset here. If you're just joining us, this is the Melissa Banks Show. Our guest today is Harold Noonie G. Ward. So, Harold, you've spoken about leaving the block doesn't mean the block leaves you. So, talk to us
Actually,
about what you meant by that.
actually, Tammy just wrote that. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Actually, but she was doing my thing. Actually, she wrote that. But what it is mean, like basically, you can leave and be educated, all that, right?
Hmm.
But the hood's still in you. You actually, it shows you that it's still in you. So you got to make sure you make still once you be CEO and all that kind of stuff like shit. You know what I mean? You got to make sure. You got to make sure that you do the same decisions that you was making to get there. You got to keep making them same decisions because if you don't, it'll creep. The block will creep out you. It'll start creeping out you. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you be right back where you started from. You left the block when he was doing they was selling bag stuff. Then now you a big CEO, corporation, different things. But you got to watch it. You know what I mean? You know, hood famous. You know what I mean? So you can leave the hood, but the hood ain't gonna leave you. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. But as someone whose story has evolved from survival to leadership, what message do you hope readers will walk away from, especially young people, when they read this book?
That no matter what you do, it's never too late. Redemption is still possible because God, Jesus made sure that He died on the cross. Because I'm a firm believer in that. That no nothing that you did was that bad. Well, your life is over. You know what I'm saying? Well, you can give up. You can come back and be 10 times bigger than me, 10 times bigger than anybody. You know, 10 times. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand. Derrick Rose, and he was doing. Derrick Rose is game back and doing everything. But that basketball was his thing. He got in trouble so many times, nothing right. Now look at him now. Rich, play basketball, go back to the hood. Like me, I go back to the hood, talk to people, travel, go out there, sit down, kick it with them, you know what I mean? I don't be like, all right, I got a nice car, I got a nice car. I go sit down with them and say, hey man, what's happening? What's going on? What's on your mind? Because believe it or not, Miss Banks, some of them kids, when I go talk to them, they friendly do something bogus. I mean, you just don't know it. It's in their mind. You know what I mean? Their mind and their heart. And I sit down with them like, hey man, what's going on, man? What you up to, man? Man, well, let me talk to you about it. And I get to talk to them and talk them out of it for that time. So that lets you know it's still possible to be somebody in life. People's opinion of you is not your reality.
Absolutely. People's opinion of you is not your reality. I wanted to make sure I repeated it. That is huge. So, looking at your journey now from street life to author to mentor to activist to all the wonderful, amazing things that are happening right now for you, how do you define your legacy and what do you want your legacy to be?
A person that um, put God first, a person that cares for the people and love the people. I got a cheerful heart. I give all the time. I get people. They're like, you don't know me. I say, don't worry about that. Thank God for the blessing. The person that no matter what the circumstances, I did my best to try to help somebody become better than me or I think circumstances, their current circumstances. That's what I want people to understand. And I love people. I love my people. People, period. So I want them to know, hey, that's it. If nothing else, I love God and I love y'all. And I mean, um, your circumstances do not define you. That's all. You know what I mean? That's all I want them to know that.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. As I was preparing for today, one of the things that was jumping out at me is the passion that you have, and that comes out in everything that I looked at. You can hear your passion and your commitment, and you can hear it in everything that you're saying today. So I would love for you to speak directly to. There's some young people that's going to hear this conversation. Speak to the young person who may feel they're trapped right now in the environment that they're in, and they feel like they don't have a way out.
And I would tell them, it's always a way out. Every decision you make is always God. The Bible said, let me see. Let me make sure I get the quote. This one, I won't put no more on you than you can bear. But for every something like that. For every, I'm sorry, Miss Banks. For every, it's always something a way out where you could get out. And I'm telling people now, your life ain't over. Stop you just going through changes right now because you reap what you sow. But you got to deal with it. And I let people know for everything that you did, it's a expiration date on that. But you're going through suffering back and forth. There's an expiration date on all that. Just fight it out to your expiration life. And only the strong survive and the weak fall to the side. So my thing is, be strong. People are always easy. No, you said no, it ain't. It ain't easy for me. I'm fighting through some stuff right now. But I know one thing: God is in control, and I know if I continue following the path and continue doing the right thing, eventually I'm coming out of this, and you could come out of it too. But you got to, prayer, and then you got also got to make sure that your faith without works is dead. So you got to make sure of that. So I tell people, it ain't over till God says so. You know when it's over, then people gonna be having a funeral for you. That's when it's over. If you still
Yeah.
breathe, it ain't over yet. God ain't through with you yet.
That's right. That's right. I was talking to a family of a young person that went missing this week. Thankfully, they found him and he was okay, and they're getting him some help. But when they were looking for him, some of the family members were saying, "It's too late. We should have done more. It's too late." And I kept saying, "It's not too late because he's still above the ground. He's still here. You still have time."
Right.
Right. Absolutely. That just made me think of that. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for your passion. Thank you for sharing your story and encouraging so many people. I believe that your story is going to change so many people's lives because they can see it, they can feel it, they can hear it in your words and in your action. So thank you for that. How does our audience stay in contact? How do they find out about the series and how do they get the book? Let us know how to stay in contact.
We're still filming it right now. Matter of fact, we're going to send a second episode March the 16th. And they can get the contact. I mean, my Facebook is Harold Noonie Ward. And it's the one, I got a couple of them. It's the one with me and Dr. Dre on there. They know Dr. Dre. And I just did my I think it's the real Noonie G on Instagram, something like that. And I got Snapchat, and basically just I'm gonna say just take the time and just research me. I'm doing a lot of different things. I got a book tour coming to they city real soon. So when they see the advertising, when they see all type of other stuff, I need them to come check me out. Hey, how you doing? Let me talk, take pictures with me, sign a book, get a book. You know what I mean? I need all that. I'm traveling, and it's gonna go to another level.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again. You have any final words that you want to share before we close out?
No matter what you do, it's a thought before you do it. And always put God first. Because without God, you nothing. But with God, you everything.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for your transparency and sharing your amazing story with us all today.
Thank you for having me, Ms. Banks. Thank you.
What a powerful conversation. Today, we were reminded that your beginning does not determine your ending. That accountability is not weakness, it is strength. That transformation is not a trend, it is a decision. Harold Noonie G. Ward's journey shows us that change is possible when you are willing to confront your own truth. This Our Guild is more than a book. It is a mirror. It is a message. It is an invitation to rise. If you're listening today and feel you're stuck in your environment or stuck in your past or even stuck in a version of yourself that just no longer fits, hear me clearly. You're not finished. Your story is still being written.
Yes.
Thank you, Harold, for your transparency, for your strength, and commitment to impact. And to everyone who's listening or watching, continue to choose growth. Continue to choose purpose. Continue to believe that transformation belongs to you too. This is the Melissa Banks Show, where conversations inspire, empower, and elevate. I'm Melissa Banks. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, keep rising.